Oh, we're live now. Cool. Okay. Seems to be going all right. Cool. We are up. One person's in. 2 people are in. Here we go. They're coming in. Okay. We really should start saying, well, I was about to say I really should start being clear what time I'm going to be on, but I can't always do that because kids. So I'm on a bit earlier than usual, and I probably won't be quite as long as usual. But Christopher Hobley's in here. Hey, dude. Hey, Chris. How are you? Are you going to be doing a bit of painting along with me today? So, let's get this show on the road. We've got 6 people in here, 2 likes. Let's get them likes and thumbs up going, people. What am I looking for? Green skin. Literally. Green skin. Army painter green skin. You can see this bottle's been well used. Yeah, still a fair bit in there. Should be enough for what I've got to do here. Nah, too tired, says Chris. I hear you, mate. To be honest, I probably am as well. But I'm on, like I say, like the title says, I'm on that final straight now. So, cool. Give these a good old mix up. Here we go. A bit of that on the palette. Cool, blimey, this one is running a bit low. Or is it just, I think it's just sometimes the mixing ball kind of, oh, come on, don't tell me it's run out. Sure it hasn't. I heard it sloshing around in there. I'm sure I do have another one on standby. I can see it actually. I do have another one, but I don't want to crack it open yet. Grant Walters here. Good evening, Stevo. Good evening, Grant. I'm just trying to get some bloody paint out of this bottle. I can hear it sloshing around in there. It's definitely in there. So why isn't it coming out? Come on. Cure. Live. Oh, bloody hell. There you go. I think it had dried a little bit and caused a plug. And I've just shot a whole load out. It is splurged everywhere. I have just shot my load, as it were. Right. So, what am I doing? I'm doing Tankbustas. 15 of the bastards. There they are. I'm still on the base coating. I mean, they're all essentially base coated. All the base colours are on there. I'm just going over now each colour and giving it second coat and just tidying it up and neatening it up before it gets to the wash stage. So I have gone over the yellow and I've gone over the red. So they're all nice and bold and crisp and neat. What have I got to do next? I'm about to do the green skin, like I say. So I'm going to go over that, tidy that up. Although I think I've done pretty good coverage on these guys, but I can see a few bits. It's more just going over again, just neatening them up, tidying them up. Some areas where it's a bit thin and you can still see the black showing through, just going over that again. And then I've just got a bit of the bone colours for like teeth and claws and various cloths and whatnot, and then just a little bit over the gold, and it's basically there then. So getting there slowly but surely. We've got Rivets and Dakar, says hey up guys, and we've got Squig Boss Mad Knobs. Hello there, you gits. 10 people in there and 9 likes, so only one of you I've got to impress so far. Okay. Oh blimey, it's getting quite warm in here. It gets hot up here in this room, even on cold days. What am I drinking today to cool myself down? Cream soda, classic. Love this stuff. It's good shit. Right, let's find a suitable brush. Yeah, I want to keep that one and use this one. Get some water. How's that wet palette feeling? A little bit dry. Get a bit of water on that. So what's everyone else working on? Anyone else got some projects they're working on at the moment, or are you just chilling out and watching? I got to say, this Army Painter wet palette, I absolutely love. I've not looked back since getting this thing. I had a cheaper wet palette before, a big plasticky thing, and it was all right. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it as such, but it was big, it was massive. It took up too much desk space. It was great in a way because you could have just loads of colours in there and just keep going and going and going for ages. Yeah, I really like this Army Painter one. The quality of the sponge itself seems to just hold so much water. It's mold resistant as well, which is really handy when you don't look after your stuff like I don't. And it's just good. It's got a cool thing as well where I fucked up the lid because I've used that as well as a dry palette, but it's got a thing to hold all your brushes in and stuff as well. So it's kind of, it comes with like a strap as well that holds it all together. It's a cool wet palette. I do like it. You are supposed to put them in the fridge overnight, which I think I've done once. Because I just always forget and I'm just like, whatever. I look after my miniatures. I don't tend to look after my brushes and stuff but I don't know. It's sort of like, I see it like a chef making a meal or whatever. Although chefs do look after their equipment, don't they? But like when you're making a meal, I don't worry about all the shit that's going on around it. I just focus on the actual food itself, and then that comes out looking amazing. And then you walk in the kitchen afterwards, and it looks like a bomb's hit it. Because I'm more focused on getting the thing right. So what we got? What's everyone saying? Xander Ferreira is in here. He says, "Yo, Grant Walter, just painting some Goth Meganobs. Nice. Rivets and Dakar, A-up, Squig Boss, A-up, Xander, Dave Dog. They're expensive, but should be made available at non-GW third-party vendors." What's that? What's expensive? Is it the wet palette you're talking about? Might be the wet palette. This one is not. I can't remember how much it costs. I don't think it was that expensive. I think it was a pretty good price actually. Oh, Dave Dog Tankbustas are expensive. Not these ones. These ones are mostly made from boys. They are a mixture of boys, heads from all kinds of different kits. Yeah, I've got looter parts, I've got burner parts, boys parts, a little bit of fantasy parts, and then loads of stuff from the bits box. So I've got loads of rockets from Killer Can and Death Dread kits, from combi shooters from like the Knobs kit. I've got rockets from the Dakar Jet kit, like all the burner missiles and stuff. Just wherever I could get rockets from, chop rockets off all kinds of bits. And so they've got all kinds going on. There's a bit from the Mega Knobs kit as well. They're just bits from all kinds of kits, just jumbled in together. If you've got a massive bits box going, you can have some real fun making tank busters. And then I was just always on the lookout for as many stick bombs, tank buster bombs, and rockets as I could get my grubby little mitts on. Hey, Roxy the Rivets in here. Haha, tank busters, she says. Rivets and Dakar, my missus, God bless her hobnail boots, bought me a sign for my hobby room door. Just says bomb site. Nice. That's true love right there, man. That's true love. She's supporting your hobby. And like you say, God bless her hobnail boots. Good old Mrs. Rivets. Right then, let's get some orc skin going. Come on, got to stay motivated on the final straight now. Let's pick one to go with. Let's pick this fella. So I'm just kind of, as you get closer to your goal, motivation sort of picks up, I think. I think that I'll be honest with you. Right now, I can't really be bothered to do this, but because I know how close I am, and this is the final squad of my 1,500 point army, and I know what having that painted army is going to do for me. it's really spurring me on, because it's going to do so much for me. The obvious thing is that sense of pride and achievement at having a fully painted army. That is the first thing, something that all of us should aspire to have if we haven't already. Lots of you probably already have. But as well as that, it's going to do wonders for the channel, because it means battle reports. It means going to feature on other people's channels and do battle reports. And there's lots of people out there who have invited me and put the shout out there to come and have me feature on their channel and do bat reps with them and things. And that's just going to be great. It's going to do wonders for my channel. And I won't feel ashamed to turn up now with a half-finished army or, partly done army. And I'm pretty pleased with how they're all coming out. I think the standard's pretty good. God knows it's taken me a long time to get there, and I've been a bit perfectionist with it. But I didn't want to. I mean, I could have had the army done a long time ago if I'd lowered my standards and just thrown it all together. But I didn't want that, because I knew I'd never be happy with it. And you do get an extra bit of pressure when you've got a channel, because people are going to be looking at your stuff and scrutinising it. And, I'm far from the best painter out there. I'm sure most of you guys watching right now are probably better painters than me. I just think I've got quite a neat painting style. Very old school techniques, old school things. Just edge highlighting, dry brushing, ink washing and stuff. There's nothing, I don't go in from any sort of wet blending and layering and shading. I just don't touch that kind of stuff. I stick with the basics. I stick with what I know I can do and what I'm good at. But I think I just got that sort of perfectionist, thing. I try and make everything really neat and staying within the lines and whatnot. And I think it gets pretty good results. And stick with a consistent scheme across, which ties the whole army together nicely. And I think it's going to look pretty good when I've got it all laid out on the table. And of course, that video will be coming up as soon as these boys are done. I'll be able to do the whole army showcase video, because I've got all my terrain painted up and built, my handmade terrain and stuff that I've built and painted over the years. I've got all that. I've got the mat and everything, so I can get my fully painted army or my fully painted terrain and get it all up there and be like, yeah, look, this is my army. This is what I've done. This is what you're going to see in battle reports and stuff. And it will grow. It will expand, but slowly, because once I've done these, I'm not going to be leaping on to the next thing. Be like, right, get the next thing back, you get it to 2K. I will do that, but I'm not going to pressurize myself, because once I've got my army done, whatever I paint after that is like a bonus, just to add to it. One unit at a time, one vehicle at a time, one character at a time, and just add stuff to it. And actually, I've actually painted up a lot more than 1,500. I've actually had to take some things out of the list. I've got, outside my 1,500 point army, I've got a big mech in mega armor, a war boss, another mech gun, and a big gun all painted up as well. So that takes the army to even higher points. But yeah, I'll have a fully painted battalion detachment basically. So that's cool. And stuck with a theme. So there's a lot of dreads and cans and stuff in there, but it should be good. I'm looking forward to showing it off and feeling proud of it. What's going on here? Rivet saying hello to Roxy. Roxy says no, Tankbustas. Underdog painting. Big Stevo, howdy. How you doing, buddy? Dave Dog, you looking forward to playing Nick Beer? Yes, I'm looking forward to getting having third time's a charm, coming and taking a rematch with him. I will probably still get absolutely battered, but at least my army will look good being battered this time. The hobby git, and he knows he's beat the other war bosses. Yes, that's another spurring factor. The fact that I'm the first, well, I'm not there yet. Someone could dash past me on the final hurdle. But yeah, it's looking quite probable, guys, that I'm going to be the first war boss to finish, which is mental. I never believed that for 1 second, that I would be the first one to finish. But I've stayed committed. I've stayed focused on the cause. But then the hobby git and Scar kind of got lots of other projects and things on the go. They get distracted easily enough. And Dread, well, Dread's just Dread, and he's God knows what Dread's up to. Dave Dog, please, Stevo, guard that army with your life. Don't leave it in a case in the boot of the car, etc. Oh, don't even joke about that sort of thing. Pope Cactus, I'm painting some bad moons with you today. Nice, good for you, buddy. Velgarn says, greeting you gits. Hobby Git, I'm painting everything other than my Gretchen right now. See, there you go. And that's why he's not going to win. Although he has painted his war boss. He'll forever have that over me. He was the first one of us to finish that. Roxy says, yes, home stretch. Poke Cactus. So after these boys, you're moving on to... No, I'm not moving on to my 2K Necron list, mate. Actually, I sold all my Necrons recently. Yeah. I needed the money, and I just couldn't see a time when I was going to focus on them. You never know, one day, but I need to focus on the orcs. Underdog says, look forward to seeing your full army. Hopefully it won't be long, mate. Father Walrus is here. Says, hey, Stevo, Immortal Sting. Did you see the new orc model previewed a month or so back? Yeah, I've seen the rumor mill pictures, which were a couple of which, we still don't know what they are yet. Hobby Gear. I mean, I already have 15k painted. To be fair, yeah, but is it your list? Is it your list? He's joking. And Hobby Gear says 20 grots. Bam. 5 points of grot. See, Poke Cactus. Boys before toys. Not in my army, mate. I have in my 1500 point army. I have a grand total of 9 boys, because one of them's a knob. So I've got literally just a 10-man shooter squad. But I've got 15 Tankbustas. They're boys, aren't they, basically? So I've actually got a few more. But no, it's a mechanized army. It's a dread mob. So I've got killer cans, I've got death dreads, I've got mech guns. It's a very kind of elite mechanized army. Yeah, it's a very themed army. I've loved dread mobs. I love dread mobs. I will get more boys in the army. I will bulk that, the shooter boys squads out and add to them and stuff. Velgon, I managed to get my 500 points of orcs for 9th edition painted. Then my back started to hurt again. Zog. Yeah, it can be harsh. I get that, mate. I get that when I'm hunched over a table doing stuff and that. Rivets and Daka building 9 toys and no boys at Mo. Yeah, it's the old adage of boys before toys. It still is a good. It still gives good advice a lot of the time, but I think less so now. I think other kinds of lists are more viable now. Mechanized lists, elite lists, and stuff, which never used to be really a good tactical option for orcs. They could be fun and fluffy and stuff, but they weren't effective on the table. Certainly, especially at the start of 8th. At the start of 8th, it was literally hordes of boys or don't even bother showing up. Whereas now, you can... I've had some great success, actually, with going down, trying out different style armies and different kind of builds and stuff. And that's good, because it's nice to be able to try out a different strategy, different tactics, use different units, because a horde army is really cool, and a lot of people with orcs will go for that, and they kind of see that as and that is kind of the basis of most orc armies, and that is cool and should be encouraged. But equally so, if you've got a cool theme in mind, a cool idea, like a dread mob or a speed war or whatever, really, you should also be able to try things like that out. But yeah, guys, I mean, if any of you out there are struggling and finding it hard to get the motivation and stuff for getting your army done, just use me as inspiration, because like I said in my short video the other day, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Like, seriously, any fucker can do it if I can do it, because I am insanely slow. It was only Roxy that said to me the other day, and she said, oh, what are you working on? I said, oh, I'm a shooter boy. She said, you've been working on him for weeks. And I'm like, yeah, not weeks, months. I'm like, yeah, I have. And that is literally how long it takes me to do like units and stuff. It takes me fucking ages. But I just kind of set myself Little baby step goals. So every day I've gone, right, today I want to get all the yellow done on this squad. Next day, right, I want to get all the red done on this squad. And I just go through it like that, one step at a time. The next day, I want to get all the ink washed on the whole squad, and just do it in little baby steps like that. Because I do get bored with it quite easy after a little while, and like Velgan just said, my back starts, giving me jip, or I'm not feeling too good, or just feeling tired, or just bored with it. I'm just like, oh, enough of this. Have a break. And I do have a lot of cigarette breaks and things as well, just to try and. But I work at my own pace. Because look, and also I get a lot of people, a lot of you guys, not a lot of the community, try and inspire each other and inspire me and motivate me, but sometimes their motivation tactics have the opposite effect on me. I don't really like pressure. I don't like a challenge. I set myself little targets and little goals and little things to get to, but I'm not sort of very competitive in that sense. If someone says, "Oh, I challenge you, get this done within a week," it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen, because within my life of work and commitments and being a father and commitments and stuff, there's just so much pressures and stress and strain and rotas and deadlines and plans and things to stick to and remember and stuff, and there's enough of that shit in real life that the hobby for me is an escape for all that. It's a thing where I can do what I want, when I want, how I want, at my own pace, and just have fun with it. And that's when I get more stuff done, when I'm doing that. If I'm feeling that pressure and that thing, it instantly I want to run away from it and not do it. And it's different for everyone, but I'm sure some of you out there feel the same way. And when you do a channel and stuff and you're putting your stuff out there, open for judgment and criticism and advice and stuff, you're going to get that, and you're going to feel that pressure a little bit more. And it is something I did struggle with for a while. And you start feeling, I'm letting people down, and you're not really. You're only letting yourself down. But you're not even doing that really, because you're only letting yourself down because you set the benchmark too high, and you're setting yourself up too high. You're setting yourself up for failure. So I don't do that now. I set myself up for success. Easy, manageable, bite-sized goals that are my own goals, not set on me by anyone else, set on me by myself. I'm like, right, I want to achieve this today. And it's just very easy, very doable. And if I manage to do a bit more than that, it's a bonus. And if I don't quite hit it, well, okay, no biggie. At least you've done something. What's the old thing I say sometimes? If you aim for the stars, you might make it to the moon. And that's what I do. Even now at the speed, while I've been talking to you and painting, I'm still on my first orc here. So I've set myself the goal of doing the skin on all 15 of these. Probably not going to do that tonight. Already I'm kind of realizing that. But that's okay, because then I'll carry on and do a bit more tomorrow. As long as I'm making some kind of progress every day. But yeah, I do hope the other war bosses do find their mojo, find that motivation and that drive and get going. No one wants to be the last one to finish, do they? No one wants to be that guy, the one that everyone else is waiting for, because we'll all be waiting on that last one, and then the battle reports will be on hold because we're like, well, we're ready to get going, but someone's not finished, and we don't want to be doing bat reps with half finished stuff, because that's just not good. Even though I have done battle reports with half-finished stuff, and I can honestly tell you, it feels shit. It's a little bit embarrassing and a bit humiliating, if I'm honest. What we got going on in the chat? Oh, blimey. I've missed a whole lot of chat because I've been focused on painting. Achievement Hunter says, the hobby gets started in a freebooter group. What's a good unit that takes the most benefit in the +1 to hit after killing a unit other than looters? I'd say flash kits, buddy. Flash kits would be good. And Tankbustas. Tankbustas would be very good. Getting a +1 to hit with their re-rolls as against vehicles as well. That'd be devastating. Yeah, Tankbustas and flash gits, I would say. Shadowcut says, evening all, hope you're all keeping safe and well. Robert Marshall says, let's get some likes hit, people. Yeah, I've got 24 likes so far. Roxy Riveter, you should throw down in one of the monthly challenges though. No, Roxy, I'm not going to do it. It's not how I get motivated. Like I say, it's great, and it does work for some people, and I love it. Put out challenges stuff, and everyone gets involved, and that's great. And if it works for you, fantastic. It doesn't work for me. It puts an added pressure on me, which for me personally takes the fun out of it. It does. It sucks the fun out of it. I've got so many challenges within normal life that this hobby is, for me, is an escape from that. Yeah, so they're just not for me personally, but I understand how they help a lot of other people. And also a lot of challenges, not all the time, but some challenges are very focused on something. So it will say like, oh, this month's challenge is to get a truck done or whatever. Well, if that wasn't in my plan for my list, and then I get in that challenge, that's actually hindering my progress because I'm not working on what I want to work on. I'm working on something for the sake of a challenge that I don't actually want in my list, or it's not part of what I've been working towards. So I've been very strict with myself and sort of be like, no, I'm not touching that, because if I do that, I'm not getting done what I'm supposed to be getting done, and it will push that goal back. So I think a lot of the key is, certainly for me anyway, and I think a lot of other people need to do this as well, is to stay focused. I've got a Blood Bowl team there that I'm quite eager to build and get, experimenting with them. But I know if I do that, I'm not doing this. I've got the big Battle Fortress up there I want to be doing stuff with. But again, if I do that, I'm not doing this. I've had to be really strict with myself. I've gone, no, you've got your list. You've written it all down. You know what you're working towards. So if you're not painting that or working on that, you're wasting time. And so that's what I've done. I've been quite strict with myself. What else have we got going on in the chat? It's funny, the Tankbuster conversions was the first video I watched on your channel. Now you're getting around to painting them. Yes, man. That's how long it takes. It's all slow. I mean, I'm generally, other than over the last couple of months where I kind of just stopped hobbying altogether for a little while, I'm always making progress of some description, whether it be building something, whether it's doing or working on a conversion or painting something. I'm always making some kind of progress, little baby steps all the time. And that's just it. And it can get discouraging sometimes when you see the task ahead of you. And I think that's another key as well, is sometimes don't look at the big picture. Break it down into those easy, one squad at a time. Just focus on that. Get that done. Put it to one side, then get the next thing out. But don't think too much ahead, as it becomes too daunting. And again, it scares you away. It kills your motivation. It certainly does for me anyway. And I'm kind of like that in real life as well. I kind of like to focus on one task at a time, and break it down and sort of compartmentalize stuff. Like, if there's something stressful coming up, something I've got to deal with, I'm like, right, I can't deal with that right now, so put that to one side. Let's get this done and then this done. And then I kind of set myself little goals to do throughout the day, and with everything, even like little simple tasks and that, I just sort of, right, I'll get that and that and that done, and I write myself little lists and stuff. And I think a lot of us hobbyists and creative types can be a little bit all over the place. Sometimes you need to kind of guide yourself and be a little bit stricter with yourself, keep yourself on the straight and narrow and keep focused. And otherwise, what you end up doing, what a lot of us do, is just end up with a fuckload of half finished stuff. And half finished is another way of saying not finished. It's just you've done loads, you've worked your ass off because you've built loads of stuff, you've partly painted loads of stuff, you're halfway through converting loads of stuff, and you've got loads of stuff scattered around that's all half finished. Actually, you have nothing to show for it because nothing's finished. It'd be much better to just focus solely on one thing and get that finished. And I mean based, varnished, everything, complete, done. Be like, that's done, that's finished, I did that. Now I can move on to the next thing. And that's what I think a lot of us are guilty of a lot of the time, is flitting from one project to the other, which can keep it interesting and can keep you motivated. But yeah, I've for too long I had loads of part finished things. I don't like that anymore. I like to have finished stuff. Yeah. Look at me, gets close to having a fully painted army. Suddenly he's the man with all the advice and the tips now. Like, what does he know? I'll probably feel a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just sharing with you guys like what works for me, you know. And a lot of what I'm saying, you might be listening to and going, that doesn't. I couldn't do it like that. The way he's doing it, and that's fair enough, because we've all got our own way of doing it, and we've all just got to do what works for us, as long as we're making that progress and getting some things done. But I think it's the key thing is just get some things finished, even if it's only a small bit. I think it's also good advice to work it in little bits as well. So like a great way to do it now, like even if you're starting from scratch, start off with a kill team. So get a kill team finished. Work yourself a little kill team list and get that finished. So what's a kill team? Like 200 points? Is it 100 points or 200? I don't know, it's something like that. It's a small little kill team anyway. So get that done first. Focus on that. Get that done. After that, right, now expand it to a combat patrol, 500 points. And then after that, another 500 points at a time, and add it up, you know, like that as you go. I mean, I remember when it was meant to be 1,000 points. That was the target. And then I think it was Dread that raised it. And I was like, oh, God. But yeah, somehow, I guess it was quite good that he did that. But there was talk of 2K, and I was like, no, you can fuck off. You can fuck off. I will go to 2K. I've kind of got, it'll probably be Gorkanaut next, or Mega Knobs next, probably, to start working towards that 2K goal. But we shall see. And I think 2K should be fairly easy, actually, because like I say, I've actually got other stuff as well already done. So I throw in another HQ and another unit, and boom, there you go. That's 2K. So it is getting there. Let me finish and actually do what I'm saying here. Let me finish this one boy, and then I'll check out the chat. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting 15 Tankbustas skin done tonight, but I'll probably have them done by tomorrow, I guess. By tomorrow night, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. This is the worst bit for me, though, the sort of the tidying up before the wash stage. This is the bit that takes the longest and feels like I'm not really achieving that much, but it's an important part of it, because it's important to get everything neat and crisp and done right before that wash goes on. Because if you're touching it up after the wash has gone on, then the bits you're painting over don't look as the same as the bits you've washed. So then and even if you apply another little bit of wash to that bit, it clashes with the what. So that's why I take so much care at this stage, and then I slap the wash all over it, and then I'm onto the highlight stage. I don't want to be tidying up after the wash has gone on, basically. And to be honest, I probably spend too much time being perfectionist over boys and things, because I pretty much put the same effort into my grots and my boys as I have into my characters. Probably slightly less. Just I've got probably on the characters, I've gone a little bit further with some of the highlights and, you know, some of the details, but not by a lot. Not by a lot at all. I've pretty much done the same kind of thing with every miniature in the army. Right. Now because I've glued them all together, I'm working really hard to try and get bits that you can barely fucking see done. And this is where I need to kind of just say, come on, no one's ever going to see this bit. Why are you, like, I'm trying to get behind his helmet here and paint his neck and his throat. And no one else other than me is ever really going to look at that. And where that is so far behind there anyway, if it is still black, that's fine, because it's shadow, because it's behind something. So I've got to just give myself a break there and go, do you know what? If it's that much trouble to get the brush into the paint, then it's probably not worth getting a paint on it. I used to paint everything in sub-assemblies, like everything. Like all my Necron warriors, I left all the arms and the guns off so I could do the chest, and then glued that on and painted them all. But because I've been playing with this stuff before I paint it, that wasn't an option. And actually, I kind of prefer this method now. Some things I do in sub-assembly, like the Death Killer War Trike. I did that in sub-assembly because you just have to, because you're just never going to get inside those cockpits and stuff if you put the crew and that in them. The buggies and stuff, you have to paint them in sub-assemblies because, good Lord, that's going to be a nightmare trying to paint that if it's fully built. I mean, if you're trying to get it to a high standard, that is, and get those details in. I guess it depends what kind of standard you're going for, but I just think you should always try and get everything painted to the best of your ability, not anyone else's. You shouldn't try and match like Golden Demon entries or like professional painters or whatever, unless you can. But as long as you feel that you've done the best you can do, you know, and that's what I feel with this army. I feel immensely proud of what I've done. I'm like, yeah, I am happy with them. It's not to say I can't find fault in them, and there are little bits that I think, could have done that better, could have done that. But overall, I'm pretty content with how they're coming out. Right, that guy is, check all his fingers. Because there's always like, the thing with boys as well, what I find is there's always like one thumb. Like you're painting the hand, and then later on you come back to it, oh, I missed that thumb that's holding the gun. Or the ears, if they're wearing hats and stuff, I always forget the ear. So I look for it over them and I see like one black ear poking out where I just haven't forgot to paint that one ear. All right, so one dude. Focus on him. Focus, come on. Focus. I ain't going to focus on it. Well, there you go anyway. You get the idea. He's slightly blurry, but yeah. One. How long was that? 36 minutes I've been on. 6 minutes of waffling before I started doing anything. So 30 minutes just doing it. That's how slow I am. That's how fucking slow I am. I'm going to wash that brush off now because I'm going to make a cigarette and I'm going to take a look at what's going on in the chat. Let's have a look what you lot are saying. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up a little bit because chat's been flying through. I won't go all the way through. So, Essex boys, it's funny. I'm the opposite to you, Steve. I need the challenge to motivate myself. Different strokes for different folks. Yeah, totally. T Snow just finished building Tankbustas from the boys kit. Also, fuck Finecast. I think we'll all share your sentiment on that. Rivets and Dakar, I'm just a lazy git, to be brutally honest. Guilty as charged. Me too, mate. Poke Cactus, half finished stuff. That's why I challenged myself to finish all of my projects this year. So far, so good. Well done, Poke. The Hobby Git, you muscling in on my territory, you git. LOL. I don't know what you're referring to there, Hobby Git, or if you're talking to me or someone else. Dave Dog, the Achievement Hunter. Haha, I thought I would paint up one of the best Blood Bowl 2020 teams by being a dirty, filthy elf traitor. Yeah. Rivets and Dakar, I love the Blood Bowl orcs. Yes, Garner is working on them at the moment, and they're cool. They are cool. Jude Asbury, I've finished painting all my boys, but I've been slugging it out on my knobs, and now I have more boys to paint in the form of my converted Blood Bowl boys. The Hobby Git, best Blood Bowl team is Snotlings. Fact. I have a Nurgle Blood Bowl group, Dave Dog, and the only reason I play it is to keep the passing down. The Hobby Git, goddamn disturbing presence. They're talking Blood Bowl rules there. Father Walrus, anyone working on some conversions? I miss working on conversions. That's why I'm looking forward to getting the paint finished on these guys so I can get back to doing a bit more of that. The Hobby Git, it's all I can do when you gets to play 3 elf teams. I started with orcs though. Grant Walter, I had a finished unit once upon a time. Then the base size changed. Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Achievement Hunter, my whole freebooters is from Spellcrow and Gear Guts. Cool. Rivers and Dakar, I'm in the process of stretching a Cromlech half track at the Mo. Gonna be a scorcher. Sounds very cool, mate. Building an orc fortress using cardboard and spare bits. Shadowcat, dug out my Sisters of Silence and washing the guns down. Nice. Rivets and Dakar, levels of painting, standard, tabletop, above tabletop, display, competition. Stevo's are well above tabletop. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I think that's where I would put mine. I certainly wouldn't say display or competition. Yeah, but I would say above tabletop. And I feel that's blowing my own trumpet a bit, but yeah, I think they are. Thank you, mate. The hobby get base size change, never forget. And never forgive. Don't set him off. Fucking hell. Don't set him off. Shadowcat, I made my Nurgle Blood Bowl team out of Plague Bearers and Beastmen. Sweet. I've got a lot of love for Beastmen. Beastmen rock. Jude Asbury, I was converting 2 bolt guns and an Orc slugger and shooter to make a custom shooter. Nice. Oh, there you go. Custom shooters. Never forget, never forgive. I'll join Dim on that one. Why, GW, why did you take custom shooters away from us? I know we've still got them in some areas, but I mean, like, why can't the knob of my Shooter Boys squad have a custom shooter? Or why can't he have a shooter? Unless you use Legends rules, which I do. So I can still do that. So fuck you. Yeah, it's bollocks. It's dumb. It's dumb. It would just be annoying. And Hobbygit says, because that would be options. Yeah, that sucks. Because obviously I would have the knobs in my Slugger Chopper Boys mobs armed with like a power claw or a big chopper and a slugger. And I'd have the knobs in my Shooter Boys squad armed with like a custom shooter or a shooter. And yeah, now, I mean, you can have a combi shooter, which is what I've gone with. So my Shooter Boys squad now, the knob in there has a combi rocket, which is all right because it's nice to have a little bonus rocket. But I just wanted more DACA to add to the DACA in there, just to, you know. But yeah, it is what it is. It kind of sucks, but but hey ho, with Legends rules, we can still do things like that. If you're using Legends rules, and if you're not, sort yourself out. Use Legend rules. Don't listen to the people that bemoan about it and that. Just use the Legends rules because they're there. You know, unless you're playing in a tournament, in which you can't use them. But tournaments have all kinds of restrictions and stuff that you know. If you go into a tournament, they're going to have special restrictions and rules. Every tournament does that you have to abide by, and that's just it. That's up to the tournament organisers, and that's up to that. You know, no biggie. 99% of the time, you're not playing at a tournament, so use the Legend rules. Use the Legends rules. They're there to be used. And it's up to the community to use them, love them, speak about them, promote them, and get, you know, GW and stuff to take notice and see that people like this stuff and they want this stuff, and then keep it supported and keep it going. Because if you don't, if you just bend over and go, well, no, because I can't use them because of this and that, and well, then they're going to just die. They're going to go away. And hell, they might die and go away anyway. And then everyone will get to say, told you so, Stevo, and be really smug about it, Dim. But, you know, they're there at the moment. And so I still use Legends rules. And I still, you know, use stuff from the Legends Codex and add it in my army and use that stuff because it's still there. It's still legal. It's only not usable in tournaments. So go for it. What we were going Hobbygit saying 5 fucking points. He's on about the grots again. Rivets and Daka said Dim's on one now. Dim's always on one. That's why we love him. Dave Dog, once you built your basic army, you can then in luxury paint what you want at your own leisure in your own time, like say a Daka jet. Yeah, exactly. So I can yeah. Like I said, I'll probably work up. Well, mind you, I've got a big squig off coming, haven't I? I've got a squig off coming, so he might be the next thing I do because I'm going to be quite eager to at least get that thing built, and it'll be different from anything else I've painted so far because everything's quite mechanized and stuff. So to have a big fucking beastie and something to stick my Tankbustas in, yeah. So that squig off that I'm coming, that's in the post from Cromlech. That might be the next thing I get doing. The Gorkanaut is currently across from me, undercoated and covered in cobwebs and dust. Bless him. And I've got mega knobs, which are downstairs, which are much the same, undercoated and covered in cobwebs and dust. But yeah, they're high on the agenda for the next sort of things. So still going to be sticking with that Dread Mob elite style list. But mega knobs are good, man. Mega knobs are good on the table. They're a good unit. They're not one of the best units in the game, but and they're probably not like uber competitive, like on the competitive scene. But they're good. They're good workhorse. They're kind of jack of all trades, master of none. They've got some. They can put out some good DACA. They can put out some good combat, and they can take a licking and keep on ticking. 2+ save with 3 wounds. They're pretty tasty. And then once you add like clan traits and stuff to them, and use stratagems and things with them, they can be pretty tasty. I mean, I kit most of my mega knobs out just with the standard loadout of power claw and custom shooter. But you get 10 mega knobs all armed with custom shooters spitting out the DACA. That's 40 shots. It's nothing to be sniffed at. Yeah, and if they're bad moves and they're re-rolling the ones, it's pretty tasty. The thing that works against mega knobs, their biggest downfall is their movement. Movement of 4 is a killer. So they need to be in a transport, or they need to have a weird boy to jump them around, or put them on a teleport pad. You need to be able to sort of deep strike them where you want them, or get them where you want them quick. Unless you're facing something like, I don't know, another Nid army that's going to be charging at you, or another Orc army that's going to be charging at you, in which place you can use them defensively and stuff. But I like them for contesting and holding objectives. Stick them on like a center field objective. They could be a real pain in the ass for the opponent to shift. Yeah, but I do like mega knobs. I do like them. Hobby Git. To be honest, I've been plotting playing 3rd/4th hybrid at my local club for 40k. Yeah, do it if someone else there wants to do it with you. Like, for me, I couldn't really do it as much as I loved 3rd, 4th, and 5th edition. 5th probably being certainly one of my favourite editions, possibly my favourite edition. I couldn't go back to playing them because it would just confuse the fuck out of me. I have trouble keeping the latest edition in my head, let alone doing too much of stuff. Hobby Git says 5th has too much ward to be good, in my opinion, obviously. Yeah, 5th's a real popular one, though. I think it'd be interesting to put a vote out to the community which edition of 40k was the best. That'd be interesting to see amongst people that I don't know. You'd kind of have to put it amongst people that had played all of them or most of them, I guess. The only edition I never played would have been 1st edition, which I've never played that edition, and I played the tiniest bit of 2nd edition, and the tiniest bit of 6th and 7th, but that was enough. Hobby Git says 1st is defo out. Yeah, 1st. Lupus says 1st edition is the best. See, the different strokes, different folks. Yeah, first, you've got to pay respect to Rogue Trader because it's what started it all. And I love the rulebook. I love the Rogue Trader rulebook. I mean, that is a fascinating read, and it's just so good. It's like a prototype sort of. It's kind of just a book of ideas. Just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And then from 2nd, it started getting a bit more refined, and they start focusing in on what the core of 40k is. But your 1st edition is fascinating. World building and stuff in 1st edition book, like just the depths it goes into and all the different things. It's really good stuff. A really interesting book. But as a war game, as a tabletop war game, it's more of a skirmish role-playing sort of. Yeah, very early days. Lots of I can't imagine games of Rogue Trader are very balanced. Hobbygate says, it's no war game though. Same with second edition, in my opinion. For me, Rogue Trader was first edition, says Shadowcat. Old Zogwart was a great orc character. Wish they brought him back. We all do, mate. It would be great to bring him back. Poke Cactus says 5 Bad Moon Boys done, 85 to go. Oh, geez. See, that would scare the shit out of me. I have to do them in smaller. Yeah, just break that up into smaller sections, I think. Sticks says, speaking of orc characters, what do you guys think the new model is going to be? No idea, mate. No idea. Just no idea. It could be anything. It could be anything. Jude asked me, Nazdrag, where is the retire of Nazdrag? Yeah, Nazdrag needs a miniature, man. Does. Rivers and Daka won't be what we want. It won't be what everyone wants, because it'll only be one thing, and that means that only a very small percentage of the community will be happy with whatever it is, and the rest of them will be disappointed that it's not what they wanted. I think at the moment, though, if it's a good miniature, then that's all we can really ask for, whatever it is, whether it's an update of an existing thing or a completely new thing, as long as it's good, as long as it's a good kit, a good miniature and a good kit. That's all we can really ask for. That'll be good. Achievement Hunter says, I'm hoping for something we don't have yet. It's no Grot Sniper, though. Grot Snipers would be cool. Would be cool. Hobbygate, not trying to be the contrarian, Dave, but I'd say second ed is a skirmish with strong RPG elements. Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think you could play... you look at what a typical second edition army was. The scale of a lot of armies these days, I imagine if you played that scale with second edition rules, with like the wheels for turning vehicles and stuff, and some people love all that shit, and I can totally see why. But yeah, and there was some overpowered shit, like seriously overpowered stuff in second edition, man, like massively. People could talk about some things being OP now, but it was on a different level back then. People forget that a lot of the time. People do forget that. I don't think a lot of those rules would fly these days. But again, not taking anything away from it, because it was an early edition and it was a cool edition. Now, I think like the third, fourth, and fifth, which for me are all much in the same, because third started it and then fourth, refined it, and then fifth added stuff and changed bits, and but they're all essentially the same game. And I mean, even to some kind of degree, I suppose sixth and seventh were, but they added so much fucking crap on top of it that just ruined it. It just became such a bloated mess. But yeah, I had some great times through the third, fourth, and fifth, and it was certainly the time in my life where I was playing the most, going to clubs and stuff, and getting a couple of games in a week, and really having fun with it. Really having a lot of fun with it. And eighth did a lot to reignite that for me. Got me back into the hobby. And got me enjoying the game again, got me enjoying hobbying again. And I think that's been the same for a lot of people, actually. I'm triggering Dim right now, probably, but it's true. It is true. It's not the case for everyone, but I think it is the case for a lot of people out there. I am now on my second Tankbustas skin. Do you know what? I think I need to switch to a smaller brush, though. I'm making this quite difficult for myself. And I'm doing some quite, not really detailed stuff, but I'm having to be very careful and not go over lines in that area and neaten bits up. So it's a little bit focus heavy, hence why I have to stop for a minute and read the comments so I can respond to you guys. But I can waffle on here and ignore the comment section. So that is what I'll do while you guys chat amongst yourselves and respond to what I'm saying. Hobby Gear, this edition best? Not even close. This edition, 9th edition, I have not played it. I've played one game of Combat Patrol. I am in no position to judge yet. I need to get a lot more games of 9th under my belt long before I can give any kind of critique on it. What I can say is that the changes from 8th to 9th, what I've seen and what I've read, and the little bit that I've experienced them, I like, and I can see the logic in them. And you know, putting aside some pointage issues on certain units, but I'm not going to base my whole kind of view of the edition on that. My concern with 9th is what happened with 8th and just what's happening with GW in general. My concern is that whether it's a good edition or a bad edition or a meh edition, my real concern is not so much the rules themselves and the edition of the game. It's how often and how constantly they change and evolve the game, which I know some people see as a positive. I'm not a fan of that. I think they need to just slow the fuck down. Just GW, take a chill pill. You just slow down a little bit. It's really hard to keep up. It is really hard to keep up. I started off the channel mostly doing like tactics videos and stuff. At this moment in time, I am in no position to do any kind of tactics videos because I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm talking about. Some people would argue that with my old videos, but I have no idea what's going on at the moment because I haven't been able to play, partly because of all the COVID stuff and that. But also there's just updates and stuff all the time, and it gets really confusing. And that, I think, kind of tarnishes. It was kind of a tarnish on 8th edition. It really was. A lot of the changes were positives, some not so much. But it's not so much the fact of whether they're positive or negative changes. It's the fact that there's just so many fucking changes and updates all the time. It's so hard to keep up with. Unless you don't have a job and you just focus on that all the time and you don't have any other hobbies or interests or anything, it's too hard for the vast majority of hobbyists and gamers to keep up with. It's just too much. It's too much, GW. Slow the fuck down. Just release the edition. Let it be out for a good while. You don't need to like update it like every 6 months, and just slow down. Slow down. I would rather have something be a little bit underpowered or a little bit overpowered and just have that, exist for a little while and not have the knee-jerk reaction of, we need to fix that quick and change that, and we need to nerf this and we need to boost this. And no, just steady on. And I think that's my one glaring issue with GW. The modern GW at the moment is it's too much of all that. It's too often, too soon, too fast. And it is just too hard for any of us to keep up with. You blink and you fucking miss it. And I think that's more about, and here we go, here comes the critical, the cynical side of me. I think it's a bit more to do with making money and stuff than it is looking after the community. Personally, I feel like, you carry on releasing stuff, you carry on updating stuff, you carry on making people spend money. And that's the kind of business model they're in at the moment, and I can see why it is chasing away a bit of the old guard. chasing away some older players and stuff because it's like, I just can't keep up with all this. And you just want something to stay a little bit more consistent. And especially this stuff takes us fucking time, man. So you don't want to spend all this time working on something, converting something, building something, and then an update comes out or a new codex comes out and then it's gone. You're like, oh, well, I've spent the last couple of years working on that unit and I finally finished it and now I can't fucking use it. That's a guaranteed way to piss off your audience. It really is. And it's not good. I don't think it's good for long-term business. Encouraging new players and stuff in the game is great, but you do want to keep your old player base going as well. You really do. And they're doomed if they do, and they're doomed if they don't. There's people that will just honestly just criticize absolutely every decision they ever make, and there are those people. But I think a lot of the criticism, a lot of the time, is well founded, and it would pay them a lot of good in the long run to listen to a lot of these criticisms and things. Having said that, I'm just one person, and someone out there might completely disagree with everything I've just said and might be saying, GW, we want quicker updates, we want more things like that. And those people exist as well. So who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong. I've got to look at the comments now. I've got to see what you're all responding here. So, Hobbygit, the 4th edition had the best codices, in my opinion. Although the Orc one was underwhelming at the time, compared to the 2 that followed it, I miss it. Harren, but now the 6+ Stevo channel is an awesome hobby channel, regardless of tactics. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Although I do miss doing those tactics videos. I do like them. They were the sort of the bread and butter of my channel. And once I get playing again, the world needs to continue on its path back to normality and get some games under my belt and stuff. And I'll start, once I'm playing games, I will start learning the rules, and then tactics and ideas for videos and unit tactics and things will come to mind and things, and so then those videos will start coming out. Also, 4th didn't have true line of sight, which is a big plus in my opinion. Rivets and Daka, don't get me going on codices, collector's edition. We won't go that far. Marcus, I'm grateful to have a job, but I've been working 70 hours a week with no extra pay for the past couple of weeks. It should slow down once I get people trained. Ooh, tough going, man. Hobbygit, a codex is no longer an investment, it's a tax. Marcus says, I agree on the codex being a tax. Heavy duty, Marcus, bro. Only doing 40 hours, but it's physical, and I'm no rooster these days. Harren says, Tankbustas nerfed? What's this? No, hear of Tankbusters being nerfed, personally. I don't know where that was in the comments. I think they're much the same, I think. They didn't go up in points, unlike a lot of other units, which was a surprise. They stayed the same cost, so that was really good. The Hobbygit, it's not the quick updates, it's the manner they've done them in, and the price gouging, and the shoddy writing and lack of proofreading. They're FAQing FAQs now. I'm not paying boutique for that. Jude Asbury, Stevo, I know this is too early, but do you have some worries about what will happen in the 9th edition codex when it comes out? Yeah, of course I do. I have concerns. I haven't. Do I think it will be an amazing codex, or do I think it will be a shit codex? I don't think it'll be either. I think it'll have some pros and it'll have some cons. Hopefully they don't delete a load of stuff. That would be probably the worst thing that could happen to a new codex, that they just a load of units or some things just disappear that they've been doing with them. Because we don't have a huge amount of, we've probably got more than some armies, but then things like Space Marines and stuff have just fucking shit tons of options and just keep expanding all the time. whereas ours keep getting chopped. And yeah, we do get some new stuff like new buggies and things, but then we lose a load of stuff and lose some like real core things like Big Mech with KFF and War Boss on bike and War Boss in Mega Armor. You know, those were that was really harsh stuff to lose from the codex. That really was in the last one. So I don't want to see him continue along that path. For me, what would make a good new Orc Codex? I would like to see the return of some of those units. I would like to see the return of some options that we lost. And then I would like to see some new stuff in there as well. You know, add some stuff in, but don't take anything away, and bring some stuff back that the community is crying out for. And get a good bit of lore in there. Get a good bit of Orc lore in there. And don't give us some new Orc lore. There's a lot of the 8th edition one had a lot of repeats in it. It had a lot of the same artwork. It had a lot of the same bits of lore and stuff just carried over from the 7th edition, which was a bit lazy. They were getting the codex for 8th edition. They were getting the codexes out quick. They were churning them out at a fair old rate because everyone had the indexes, and then the race was on then to get the codexes out, and everyone was desperate to get their codex because as the codexes started coming out, your index army was suffering because it was just being outclassed on the table. I know that was happening to me while I was still playing Orc Index, and my buddy was using the Space Marine Codex, which had all these new tricks and buffs and stuff in it, and stratagems and whatnot. And it was real tough for a while just working with the core stratagems from the rulebook. So it was kind of just to get them out, and then it came out with the same cover and everything. And if you hold the 7th and the 8th edition codex together, they kind of look the same. And I've done it a few times. I've picked it off the shelf, but hang on, this is the 7th ed codex. Shit, got the wrong one. So yeah, I want to see like new artwork. I want to see some new lore in there. I want to see, just some good writing, and I'm triggering Dim now because I just said like I want to see good lore. I want to see good writing. Dim is triggered on that one. I can only imagine. I'm not even going to look up at the screen because I can only imagine what he's typing. But yeah, that's what I'd like to see. And just some new shit, and the return of some old stuff. Just make it a fun codex to use. It's lots of options and lots of choice and lots of variety and lots of ways we can personalize things. And that's what I'd like to see. I'm less concerned about the codex itself because I'm less concerned about the balance and the points costs and the competitiveness of stuff. I'm less concerned about that than I am about the miniatures themselves. That's what I'm probably more worried about. Is it's really starting to head to that point now where a new boys kit is kind of inevitable, and I'm just really hoping they keep the sort of bespoke nature of the kits we've got now. I really am. It's just, I mean, they could hit it out the ballpark and they could come out with some amazing looking stuff and some really cool kits with lots of choice and stuff. But who knows? Who knows? It's exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time because whatever they do, we're going to be stuck with. That's what, there's nothing going to be stopping us using our old stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I certainly don't think we won't get the Death Guard or Necron treatment. I don't foresee us getting a massive overhaul and a whole sort of new range. I don't foresee that. I think they will update probably a few core units, and we'll get a few new things, stuff to replace the old, but I think we'll probably still have a lot of the older stuff still sticking around. Yeah, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we get. From what I'm hearing of people, these 9th edition codexes, though, they're laid out quite well, and they're meant to be quite good from that respect. I heard off Gear Guts the other day, was chatting to us and said that he looked through the Space Marine code. Oh, he's in here now, Kyle Reiki. Just started talking about you. He says, "Woo, Stevo's being productive, and I'm late to arrive." No worries, mate. You're here. You're here. I'm on earlier than usual. I will actually be turning off fairly soon because I'm going to have to turn off. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, he was saying that the Space Marine Codex, he can confirm it for himself now. He said it was quite laid out quite well and stuff. So that sounds promising. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's say that much. It'll be interesting. And I'll be buying it. I'll buy the Orc Codex when it comes out. I'm just in no rush for it to come out. I'm quite happy continuing using our 8th edition Codex for the time being. I thought it was an okay Codex, barring the loss of, some key things which should never have been taken out. That has always been a bitter pill to swallow. But on the whole, I think the Codex is all right. I didn't like the World of Flame or anything, but it was serviceable. It was certainly better than the 7th Ed Codex, that's for damn sure. Which isn't saying a whole lot, I know. Okay, this will be Tankbuster number 2 skin done. So, geez, yeah, these are going to take me a while. This stage. I think when I do the rest, I will switch to a smaller brush though, because I have made this very awkward for myself. Because I'm having to get into some very tight little recesses and stuff here to touch up this skin. But they're coming along. They're looking good. If I do say so myself. They are looking the business. That fella coming on with his, hey, he's got even in focus, look. Bad Moon hat on the go. Look at that. Staying in focus as I do a full swivel round. So yeah, they're getting there. They are coming along nicely. I do love sprinkling some of these fantasy moon hats in. They do look cool. They're the business. You've got to, if you're doing Bad Moons, you've got to sprinkle a couple of them in amongst your units. The old Fantasy Boys kit is getting a bit more tricky to get hold of these days. But there are still, bits doing the rounds, and check out eBay. You can still get hold of them. Prices on them seem to be going up a bit lately because of popularity of them. But I think I've had a few good members of the community kind enough to post me a few as well. Some fantasy heads. Got a couple of fantasy heads in this unit, like this dude here. He's got a fantasy head on as well. His little nipple helmet. So I've got a nice. There's another. That one's a fantasy head as well. There. He's got a fantasy head on him as well. The hair squig. He's not focusing, but. And then I've got even some Savage Uruk heads as well, like this fella, which I think fits on quite well. It's good. Oh, it's all right. He's all right. He's in one piece still. Didn't chip the paint. Bloody hell. Sort it out, Stevo. Right. Okay. I think that will do for that guy. Just need to go over his ears a little bit more because they were missed completely first time round. So that was I need to get a second coat over his ears. Nice and careful. Don't get any on his hat. There we go. Pop him to the side there. But yeah, progress. We're getting there. I think a couple of weeks, this unit will be done. I've got to say, just keep chipping away a little bit each day, and we shall get there. So, what have we got going on in the chat? I've got a few more minutes where I have to turn off. The Hobby Get says, and the 7th edition book was fucking awful. I don't think many people will disagree with you there, mate. Marcus, Orcs in November? That seems a bit late for October. There's a pattern. I think what happened before, didn't it? Wow. Hey, Stevo, says Aaron Davis. Rivets and Daka, they did it with Speed Freaks. They did. Hobby Get, what's with that Aerosmith song? Jude Asbury, it'd be great to have the first form of mob-up stratagem where it works on not only Orc boys. Yeah, I was looking forward to using it with things like Mega Knobs and stuff, and just like grouping together and having a 20-man Mega Knobs squad or like a 25-man Tankbuster squad and shit, and just being able to do some stupid shit like that. It'd be great to have the first... hang on, I already read that one. Augusta says, I want looted wagons back. We all do, mate. Every single one of us wants looted wagons back. Marcus says, looted wagons, don't press that. Rivet says, I can just picture Dim's cynical look. A looted wagon that can be taken from any codex in a manner that Steeler Cult can take anything from the Guard Codex. Yeah, it'd be good to have that option, or just the option like they used to have rules for a looted wagon. I wouldn't. That would be cool. What you say, Dim, or just having a data sheet for a looted wagon and have the options in there to you can put this and you can put that, and it can be a transport or it can be a gun wagon, and you can have a big list of different guns and turrets and stuff to put on it. And I wouldn't even care if it was overcosted and not competitive, because I think most of the people with looted wagons just want that so they can have fun and be creative. So make it like weak competitively. I wouldn't really give a shit as long as it was cool. I mean, don't make it like crap, but you know, just I don't know, just make it, just give it to us. Hobbygit says they'd sell so many tank kits. They would. I mean, they already do to us, but they'd sell more. The Battle Wagon is a great kit. Yeah, I like the Battle Wagon kit. Love looted wagons. Most of mine are illegal now. Sucks, doesn't it, man? Sucks. I'm pissed Codex isn't coming in October. Like I said, I'm not really in a rush for it. I'm not. I'm in no rush for it. When it comes, it comes, and I'll get it and check it out, and it should have. Hopefully, it has some good stuff in it. But no, I wasn't overly. I mean, when it comes, it comes. Hobbygit says, GW will never do anything for October. Well, I never say never. They're never going to do anything every October, but they might do something for October just by sheer coincidence. Disun Snogoot, I need a new bulb for my lamp and more super glue. Very nice Tankbuster. Thank you, mate. Looking good so far. Good progress, Stevo, says Connor. Orcs should be able to bolt any gun on any vehicle, within reason, obviously. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Tankbuster looking strong like his war boss. Thank you, mate. Smurf hat, says Rivets and Daka. They are very smurfy looking. Thanks for making these videos, Stevo, says Augustus. You are welcome, mate. Thanks for watching them, more importantly. Thanks for watching them. If you guys weren't watching them, I'd have stopped making them years ago. I agree, Augustus. Cheers, Stevo. Thanks, guys. Thank you. You are too kind. Dissan Stockert moved one of my old metal big shooters the other day and his head popped off. I guess I'll drill and pin it now. Yeah, pinning is important with metal models for sure. The Drunken Orc is smiling. TLC Creations here. Maybe this weekend they'll reveal a new boys kit. Rivets and Datka found that hilarious. But he says, I really hope I'm wrong. The Drunken Orc says, you're not wrong. Lupus Canis says, good upload. Thank you, Stevo. So glad to see Stevo live. I love the look of your Tankbustas. They look better than my orcs. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure your orcs look very cool as well. Yeah, they've taken some serious work. Every one of these Tankbustas is they're all converted to a greater or lesser degree. I'll show you the one I'm probably most pleased with. Well, there's a couple I really like. The one I'm probably most pleased with is this fella. And let's see if I can get him in focus. Is he focusing? There you go. This is the knob of the squad. And a lot of work's gone into this guy. As you can see, he's got a converted like a rocket pistol going on there. And then he's got his other rocket launcher here, which is a combination of it's a rocket launcher from a Death Dread, I think, with a scope on top. It's got like I think the handles from like a slugger. He's got his backpack there, which is a combination of like a knobs stick bomb sack with a bit from a commando's kit. He's got a boss pole there. Yeah, he's got. I don't know if you're picking that up on speaker, but someone's having some good fun out there. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, I just really like the pose of him and that, and it took a little bit of work getting them guns just right. And yeah, I'm pleased with how he's turned out, though. I think he looks pretty badass to lead these boys into battle. But yeah, got a few pleased with this guy as well. See if we can get him in focus. There you go. Can't really see it because it's been picked out, but he's got like a Storm Boy's head on, the grenade and the gob, which I just think looks cool as hell. You've got a nice sort of stubby rocket pistol there. It's quite a dynamic pose and stuff for him, so he's come along well. What other one do I like? Ah, yeah, this fella. The one I described this guy as he's the one at the pub getting the round in, because the way he's holding the stick bombs, he just looked like he's just turned around from the bar and gone, hey up lads. And he's just, getting the round in. But gone with a converted, he's got the rocket sort of backpack going on there. That's made from a teleport blaster bit from a Meganob. So yeah, I'm liking how he's come along. But yeah, they're all sorts. They're all different. Each one's an individual character, and yeah, they're coming along nicely. Yeah, so there you go, guys. You're getting a sneak peek at them there anyway, but they'll be revealed when they're completed. I'll do a showcase on them, and then we'll get on with a showcase of the whole channel, the whole army. Jude Asprey says, yes, it's from a Death Dread. Yes, it is. Yeah. After that's trouble, I convert this stuff. And then when I'm talking through it on videos, when I do like the showcase or stuff, I'm like, where did I get that part from again? Oh, I can't even remember half the time. Yeah, I forget where the bits came from. Orcs don't need to reload if they have a gun in each hand. Damn true. That's what the grots are for, isn't it? Throw the gun to the grot. Reload that, you little bastard. Agreed, Marcus. Good to see Stevo live again. Thank you, Disson. Hobby, be careful what you wish for. Achievement Hunter. Connor, that's a good point, mate. Hobbygit, because it'll almost certainly be monopose. Oh, he's still going on about the new kits and that. Watch your backs coming through. That's blooming awesome. Hi from New Zealand. Thank you, mate. The Drunken Orc. LOL. Hope he's not forgotten the scampi fries. I think he's got some pork scratchings in his pocket. Dim's not going to be happy from that. Well, there you go. Guys, I've been on for about 1 hour, 25 minutes at the moment. That's, I think, all I can do, all I can manage for this evening. Yeah, so I set myself the goal of getting the skin done on 15 Tankbustas, and I did 2. But there you go. I've only got 13 left to go now before the next bit. But yes, progress is slow, but it's progress. Keep chipping away. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. I'll probably get a lot more done when I'm not trying to do a live video at the same time. I'm not a good multitasker like Scar. Hobby gets his light at the end of the tunnel, mate. Yes, there is. It's there. It's glimmering. It's glimmering. But yes, thank you guys. Anyway, I am going to end this now before I waffle on any further. Good luck with all your projects and your armies. There'll be more content coming from me soon. Oh, be sure to be checking this channel out on Halloween night. Myself and Dim got together for a little collaboration project, and we made a special video for Halloween, which some of you I think might be interested in. So yeah, be sure to check it out, and yeah, there'll probably be other content before then as well. But for now, guys, this is 6 Plus Stevo signing out.